And meanwhile, we have House Republican lawmakers attending a retreat in Florida, but the possible indictment of former President Trump is really dominating all of the conversation there. You have multiple House Republicans, including Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan, sending a letter to the Manhattan DA demanding documents and testimony. They wrote, quote, "You are reportedly about to engage in an unprecedented abuse of prosecutorial authority. Here's what lawmakers at the retreat are saying about a possible indictment."
President Trump announces he's running for president, and Shazam! We're gonna some bookkeeping error from 7 years ago is misdemeanors now what they're going after. So it makes absolutely no sense.
What we're dealing with here now is a rogue, left-wing, radical prosecutor who, by the way, refuses to prosecute serious crimes in his state. Who now has decided for political reasons to go after a former president.
I think that everyone in this country, Republican, Democrat, and others, should be outraged that people will actually use our justice system against their political adversaries.
All right, so for more on all of this, CBS News congressional reporter Zak Hudak joins us now from Orlando. Zak, good to see you. I know you have been following these Republicans all day, attending press conferences, talking to lawmakers. I mean, this is a policy retreat aimed at kind of setting the stage for governance in this next Congress, but yet Trump is looming over everything, it seems.
That's right, Caitlin. This is something that has frustrated Republicans at this retreat and at the last two retreats. They come here and they plan to push out their messaging. They plan to get their messaging out to their lower-ranking members, send them out for press conferences with us, and allow them to explain how these larger Republican policies will affect their constituents specifically. But what we've dealt with this year and the past 2 years is that every press conference that happens, we, the media, are asking about Donald Trump. And I think that's pretty frustrating to these Republicans. But what we're hearing from them, as you just played out, is basically an attack on Alvin Bragg and an attack on the idea of indicting a former president. They are painting this as a political witch hunt and something that needs to be stopped as soon as possible.
Yeah, the more things change, the more they stay the same, as is apparent with this conference meeting. I mean, Zach, to that point, I mentioned that letter that that investigators on Capitol Hill want to kind of go after. What exactly are they wanting here in terms of the DA?
A big point they're making, Caitlin, is that it's been years that this information has been out there. The Manhattan DA's office has been investigating Trump since at least 2018. And we're hearing Republicans say now they want to know why, now that the former president has announced another run for president, are you finally making a move here? What has changed? And secondarily, what on the federal level, what resources are being used? There are federal grants that go to local law enforcement. And additionally, we heard Jim Jordan bring up earlier another angle that he thinks there's a chance that the special counsel's federal investigation of Donald Trump is informing this local investigation, and that's a major concern of his as well. We don't know yet if he'll subpoena the Manhattan DA, but it seems like that would likely be the next step.
Wow, a lot to mull over there. I mean, Zach, I know you've been covering Congress for a while. You know many of these lawmakers. You've been talking to them for years. I'm curious kind of how you are assessing in your conversations with them or what they've been telling you, kind of how Trump is, in fact, shaping the party still. Are they eager to rush to his defense? Are they trying to, show some distance? What's that kind of revealed itself to be like?
You know, Caitlin, we are still seeing them be very eager to rush to his defense, and I don't think you have to look too hard to find out why. We saw just the other day, Ron DeSantis punted a question about the potential indictment of the former president, and today the former president issued a statement bashing him, saying he was too weak to take a stand and defend this political witch hunt. However, at the same time, 2 years ago, when Liz Cheney was still the GOP conference chair, when she was running this event, we were right near Orlando in the same area. And a major breaking point happened for her and the party there when, in a press conference, she was asked if Donald Trump is still the leader of the Republican Party. She said he was not, that the current elected leaders, Kevin McCarthy, Mitch McConnell, were the leaders of the party. At the time, this is early 2021, that was kind of the final nail in the coffin for Liz Cheney. That was seen as disloyalty to Trump and, by extension, to the party. And A mere couple weeks later, we saw her be ousted from her conference chair spot. Today, Jose Diaz-Balart, a local Florida representative, was asked pretty much that same question. And he prefaced it saying he respects Donald Trump, but then quickly said, Kevin McCarthy and our elected leaders are in charge. So you do see this movement away from total default to Trump. Still some fear of not defending him, but there is not, de facto, we turn to Donald Trump to get our messaging.
Yeah, that's so fascinating, Zach. And we showed a clip or a screenshot of that story that you wrote at the time. We know how that panned out for Liz Cheney, but we also know this is going to be a storyline to follow through the 2024 elections, not only House Republicans having to do that dance, but fellow potential 2024 candidates as well. Zak Hudak, thank you so much for your reporting. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, Caitlin.